on Roanoke Live Kitchen, where we are actually going to start a series called Jennifer's Corner. And in today's first episode, we're going to make cheesy molten lava cups. So on today's menu, we're going to make the dough. We're going to make pizza dough. Homemade pizza dough, actually. So, due to time constraints, I went ahead and actually proofed my yeast here. Typically, you just want to use one packet of the yeast packets you can buy in the store. That's what I use. And then you want to use 3/4 cup of warm water. No more than like 150 degrees, because you don't want to ruin the yeast. So, first things first, I need to add my flour. So the recipe I'm using calls for 1 cup of flour, 2 cups actually total, but you want to add 1 cup of flour at a time. Alright, so the first thing we need to do is go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, you can use vegetable oil, avocado oil, whichever oil is accessible to you. So let's go ahead and add 2 of these. Alright, and then the next ingredient you want to add is 3/4 tablespoon of salt. So let's go ahead and add that there. Alright, and then finally, one at a time, you want to add 1 cup of flour, because if you add too much flour, it'll make your dough like really hard. So if you add it gradually, it'll make it more uniform, and it'll actually mix a lot better. It's better to add less flour than to add more flour, because like I said, it'll make your dough kind of like gluten-y too much. So let's go ahead and add 1 cup of the flour here, very slowly, not to splash. Alright, there's 1. Now, a lot of people use stand mixers, but all I have is a hand mixer, and use the attachments that are used for mixing up dough. Makes it a lot easier. Make sure to do it slowly at first, and then gradually add the speed. And then, after we get all that mixed up a little bit, we'll gradually add the other cup of flour slowly. Here we go. Now, occasionally, you're going to actually have to scrape the side of the bowl. That way you get all your flour in there. Like that. Alright, now we need to add the other cup of flour slowly. Just like that. A little bit at a time. What you want to look for is where the dough is going to start separating from the sides of the bowl. So as of right now, it's not doing that just yet. A little bit more flour. Just like that. Keep stirring. Now I'm going to have to scrape the side here. Looking pretty good. Add a little bit more. Just like that. Alright. Maybe just a little bit more flour. Because it's starting to separate from the bowl, which is what we want to see. Don't worry, I'll have pictures of it. At this point, I gotta increase my speed because it's starting to want to stick to the beaters. So, a little bit more. Add a little bit more flour, slowly. Just like that. Whoop. Alright, now, alright, so the next step after you've done mixed your dough in the bowl, you want to actually bring it out of the bowl and put a little light dusting of the flour on your counter here. Not too much, but I like that. Now the dough is going to be tacky, so that means it's going to be sticky. So a lot of times you'll want to put, which I'm going to have to do, is put some flour on my hand here. That way the dough won't stick as bad, I should say. Alright, let's get that scraped out of there. Just like that. Alright, so the next step is you want to knead your dough just a little bit. Just a little bit. That way it's not tacky anymore. So if it sticks to your counter, just roll it over on the flour here. Just like that. And your goal is to kind of roll it in a bowl. So you want to knead your dough just like this. Out, roll it into itself. Push it out, just like that. A little bit more dough. And you want your dough to be kind of smooth. Just like that. Now. Okay, so before we actually cook the pizza dough, we need to let it rise for about 30 minutes. So the first step you need to do before rising it is put some olive oil in your bowl. Just like that. And then what you want to do is kind of coat the sides of your bowl here. May have to add just a little bit more. Just like that. Just coat it. Get it as even as you can here. That way your dough doesn't actually stick to the bowl here. There we go. That's about good right there. Alright, so we've got Alright, so the next thing you want to do with your pizza dough is actually form it into a ball. So what I like to do is kind of like form it out like this, and then you kind of form it into itself like this, into a ball. Just push it into a ball, just like that. Alright, and once you've got that uniform shape, just go ahead and stick it back in the bowl with the olive oil. And what I would also do is kind of rotate a little bit just to kind of get it coated there, just like that. And there you go. Alright, so the next step is you need to cover the dough and let it rest for about 30 minutes. Use a damp dish towel to cover it up. There you go. And then you can just simply just set it to the side like that on your counter. Now, we need to go choppy with the rest of the ingredients. Be back soon. Alright everybody, welcome back. We have now let our dough rise for about 30 minutes. So what we need to do now is form it into little cups to go into our muffin pan. So when it comes to the dough, you want to kind of press down gently. Let the air go out, just like that. A little bit more sometimes. Alright, so what we want to do now is take a little bit of our leftover flour we had and just do like a dusting like this on the counter. Just like that. And you can always grab more if you need it. Alright, so now we need to take our dough out of the bowl. Go ahead and flour your hands to make it a lot easier. There we go. Alright, now we just need to kind of knead our dough just a little bit. Like I said, if you need more flour, you can. Kind of dust it on top. Now the key to pizza dough, you don't really want to knead it too much, because when you knead it too much, it actually will make your dough a little bit more harder, per se. It's the best way to describe it, actually. Alright, so just want to get it just like that. Just where it's not going to stick against it. Now, since I'm using a muffin pan, what I'm going to do is actually roll the dough out in a long shape, horizontal. So there we go. A lot of people like to use like a rolling pin, which you can, but a lot of times it's better if you do it by hand like this. Just keep stretching that dough, just like that. Not too hard, otherwise you'll break it. Just like that. Alright, try to make it the same width, or thickness I should say, sorry about that. Flour. Alright, so about like that is what you kind of want. So let me get the flour, excess flour out of the way. I have one of these nifty little tools here. This is a dough cutter. This is the most awesome thing you can have in your kitchen, believe me. So what I'm going to do is cut out 12 little sections here. That way they go each individual into the pan here. Alright, now we're going to roll these into little cup shapes. Unfortunately, I have decided that I made 11 instead of 12. Apparently I can't count. So, let's roll these out just like that in your hand. We kind of want to put them out like this. Push it out. The edges from the center going out like that. Kind of stretching the dough a little bit. Now it gets about like that size right here. Then you just bring your pan a little bit closer. And then you're going to just smash it in there, the bottom here. And then you're going to form it to the side of the cup. Just about like that. And what I also did ahead of time is I went ahead and sprayed the pan here with just some regular cooking spray. That way your cups won't actually stick to the pan. I'll go ahead and do the rest of these, and then we'll be back here in just a few minutes. Alright everybody, now, for time's sake, we actually pre-made our cheesy molten lava filling yesterday, which smells awesome. Alright, so, just think about it as a decent tablespoon size. You want to just fill up just the inside of your cup here, about like that. No more than maybe about like that. You don't want to fill it up too much, otherwise it's going to be busting at the seams. Let's go ahead and fill some of these up. Like that. May kind of have to push it down there a little bit. But we'll do the best as we can. Alright, let's go ahead and finish filling up the rest of these. About like that. See, that one's pretty good. And also, to add an extra bit of flavor, I cut up some onions in kind of like a circular type shape. And as you can tell, you can see I added the onion inside each cup there. It'll add an extra bite to what we're making here. Now inside of the filling, we've got ground beef, we've got block cheese, we also added onion, salsa, and then we just let it sit like that all day and simmer on low. Not simmer on low. I meant to say just low. Alright, let's add a little bit more to that one. A little bit. There we go. Alright, and for the final touch before we put it in the oven is we're going to add some Parmesan on top. Just like that. And of course, you know the Parmesan is going to want to clump up there, which is nothing new. Alright. You put as much Parmesan as you want on top of these. Totally up to you. Okay. Almost there. Sometimes you gotta shake up the Parmesan to get it to declump a little bit. That's alright. Last one. Alright. Alright, so I got my oven preheated to about 425. Now you want to bake these approximately about 15 minutes. No more than that. Alright. See you in about 15. Alright guys, now it's time to pull them out of the oven. And boy, do they smell delicious. Oh wow, look at that. Look how good these look. Now I want to mention one way that you can tell if your dough is actually done is to take a clean toothpick and poke it in the, I would say, the puffiest part of your dough. So just take it, pierce it through there, all the way through, and pull it back out. If it comes out clean, your dough is done. Alright, let's go ahead and try one of these out, shall we? We're just going to randomly pick one. Alright, look at that. Alright. Hear that crunch? Oh man. Look at that. Steam. Oh. Sorry, I'm kind of hope I don't try and burn my mouth. Alright. Oh man. That was cooked to perfection. That crust is nice and buttery. Not burnt. Golden brown. I'll show you here. Golden brown. The flavors is kind of like a rich kind of flavor. Fantastic. I highly recommend this.